We're finally getting back to some Star Wars, peeps. It's been a long time. G'day everyone, welcome to another video by myself, Andrew DFT. Now this video is jumping back into some Star Wars content creation. Hopefully 2019 is a bit more of a undivided year and that the community can really start coming back together with a lot of the cool things that are coming out this year, and hopefully finishing it off with J.J. Abrams' very good, hopefully, finale to this trilogy. So the new trilogy, well, it's been out for some time now, but to be honest, it hasn't captivated me as much as the predecessors and the Clone Wars spin-off movies and TV series did. They had far more intriguing designs, more intriguing characters, so nothing really from these movies sprung out to me and said, hey, you should make this, except for the Stormtrooper stuff. And I think everyone might agree with me here. The Clone Troopers were fantastic. The Stormtroopers in any of the eras were just really cool. Just the look of them is fantastic. The classic white on black is something that just appeals really cool. And what I did like about the new Force Awakens and so on is that they brought out new iterations of what were the classic Stormtrooper designs. And we of course saw the iteration of the E11, which they did as an F11D, I believe it was called. And I liked it, to be honest. The black and white really set it apart from the E11, which was just pure black. And then they also did a pistol. And that was a heavy pistol, the SE-44C. I don't know if we saw too much of it in the screen, but it is in Battlefront 2 and is an exceptionally cool gun in Battlefront 2 for those who played it or still play it. There's very few of you. And I actually gave you the templates for it about a year and a half ago. I just never got around to making it, but it was something that I always wanted to do. So, well, now with my new studio and my new time, I had to do it. So this is my final result. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but the one thing I am a bit annoyed about, and it comes across in all my projects when I involve white, is that I can never get the foam to really stand out in the white aspect. Even when you're using some pretty nice spray paints, it comes down to the surface material. Unfortunately, foam, it's very hard to escape that front-facing material look. Even if you used a primer filler to maybe give this 3 or 4 coats, even then you might get away from it, but it just becomes more costly, more expensive, and you run the risk of deteriorating the prop literally with primer filler, and then again spray paint. So I always just try with basic acrylics, mixing it up with some silvers to give it a bit of tinge, and then just going far-fetched on the weathering to really just make it look like something interesting, give it a unique look, and try save it. Now in terms of difficulty for this, it wasn't actually that hard. It just required a lot of kind of just patience and being aware of what you're cutting. I built this out of 140mm block with a few additions, of course, of just such little rails going on top, but primarily this whole piece is just one solid section that I just had to slowly excavate and carve into. Building down into those initial layers was somewhat the challenge, but it really just made you have to focus on the initial reference photos you're looking at and being sure that you can translate what you're seeing into the foam and spacing it correctly. This design had a lot of very small crevices that usually I wouldn't put into a prop, but because this didn't have a lot of other detail, it meant I actually had to pull this in and make sure it worked. Otherwise this prop would look rather bland, or it could look very asymmetric and nothing lined up. So that was the huge challenge for me. But in the scale of props and larger rifles, this was very simple, and because of that slight detail, it didn't really enhance it to be something more difficult than what a beginner or someone trying for the first time could handle. So with that, I will rate it a 5 out of 10. It sits there at the basic, medium level, so anyone who's carved a prop before, maybe something like a Magnum or just a simple plasma pistol, can do this no problem. And if you want to do that, you can grab the templates for both this and the F11D, which I showed you just a few minutes ago. That can be in the description box below in a PDF, ready to download and get started. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have produced this before because of my template, I'd love to see it. You can share any of your work, even if it's not this, via Instagram, Andy_DFT. And well, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.